In looking at last week's game, we like the changes that we made. I think perhaps one additional a change that may be made is that Connor Davis may be back, and which would allow us again to look at the offensive line position, perhaps look at Luke Bowanko at the center position, and Connor back, as a guard. I mean, he was our starter when this whole thing started. So we'll see how he progresses during the week, and if he can play and he can give us what we need, then we'll make that change as well. He'd always been back there as one of the guys catching punts, and when we started evaluating where we are and what we wanted to do, Coach Hagan said, Coach, Tim could catch it for us. He's probably got one of the better awarenesses of catching, particularly when he's gone in practice and catching punts. And in an attempt to make sure that we're doing everything we can to put the right people in the right places, I think Tim's audition, he did a nice job. We told him about the Willie Mays catch over the shoulder there was maybe the decision making on that, but he's excited about that. The one punt return that he had, that the long one was just one block away, and even the one over his shoulder that he caught, that were one block away from him running and being up on the offensive lineman that was part of the shield. So he's a dynamic threat back there. So when you evaluate your players, evaluate your team, we went to the decision to put him back there, and I think he'll be a tremendous asset for us as we move forward. Well, the focus is to win games, and obviously when you lose two games, that we believe that we should have won, the lack of our, ability to, whatever each game presented itself, for Pitt, not getting points after having turnovers, for this game not being able to play well versus the run, but getting points and being productive on offense. So our main focus is to put a complete game together, offense, defense, and special teams, and and focus on that, and not worry about the things that have gone on in the past, but focus on the things that that can cause us to help us win as we prepare for Maryland, and then focus on the future as far as doing things that we need to do to get better to help us win on the field. Still very explosive. Still one of the guys that they want. They find different ways to try to get the ball in his hand. Whether it's obviously the receiver position, but also with reverses and speed sweeps, different things like that. So he is a very dynamic person. We had a chance to recruit him as well, but he's made the most of his opportunities up there at Maryland. Jerry, there is a process to a lot of these things. Obviously, we want to win. We want to win now. I believe in the coaches. I believe in the players. I believe in the young players that are playing. But there is a process to that, and we want to do everything we can to make sure that we develop and bring these guys along to have a chance to be competitive in games. We want to show improvement, from week to week, and that's my job. That's what I have to make sure it gets done, and that's the main focal point right now is just to move us from where we were, even though new systems and all, and gain improvement as we go along, and then be reflective as we play on the field on Saturday. What you try to look, you look at the game and how it's played, and you look to see, based on previous games that they're playing too, if they are sticking to, what they do, if what the model of their offense or defense or special teams is true to the core of what they believe in. And you're right, sometimes, the scores get out of hand, and what you try to find out if they go back to just the nuts and bolts of what they do. And you don't want to get too far away from just, evaluating what you see on tape, and not sometimes trying to second guess what they may or may not do. So I think it'll be important for us to understand that it's a very good offensive team, very explosive. They play very well defensively. I think they're third in the country in sacks, in turnovers. They're athletic. They have, skill position players at different positions that help them, get the ball downfield. So we look more at that, Dave, than we do at like the score imbalance, one way or the other, because you don't want to get caught looking at the scoreboard. We want to get caught looking at what they do. Kevin's done a nice job with his opportunities to run the ball. You know, wanting to go into the season, being a team that wants to run the ball, set up the pass, play action passes off of that. He's really acclimated himself well to running between the tackles, trying to find things that even get him out of the backfield, the swing routes and different plays. But he's a large part of our offense. But it was good to see Smoke and Khalid Shepard back as well. There's other elements to whether you're running the ball direct or you're throwing little swing passes, which is basically like a toss sweep to a running back that's in the open field. But we like the running backs that we have, particularly when they're healthy, and we look forward to trying to use those guys, to the best of our abilities to get them to do the things that they can do on the field to help us. Well, with 5 games into his college career in terms of being a quarterback, he's a first-year starter right now, and I think with every practice and with every rep, particularly when you have guys that are, getting acclimated and learning the process and getting better, I believe David will get better. I mean, I really believe that, and I know it's frustrating, to him and frustrating, to people that may be out there watching. But I think that there is a level of him improving that's yet to be made, and that's through coaching, that's through the play calling, that's through what he sees as he's playing in the game, and I have confidence in him. And we'll get ready for Maryland and try to do things to allow him to be successful.
But those 2 plays early, the 2 overthrows, do you see that in practice, or just kind of little?
Well, I think you'd like to have a player throw 100% in a game or in practice. It doesn't happen that way a lot of times. But again, the thing is, you want to be efficient. You want to recognize that thing that he has to change. And if he's overthrowing, that he's got to adjust or he's got to plant his feet or whatever it is. But that's part of the coaching and teaching. That the improvement that you have to continue to make and that he is making. So, as I said, I look for his improvement to continue to get better as far as being a quarterback. His practices have balls that he throws that are right on the money, have balls that he throws that people are in his face, and he's got to put a little air over top of it. So we'll continue to keep practicing. He'll continue to keep getting better, and as I said, I believe in his progress and where he's going.